you need to have advertisements that goes in taste with the local audience. So if they are trying to advertise in Africa, they would go with the African culture, African way of living and thinking. So similarly, if they are going in the Europe, right? So the way the each country thinks, right? That's the way they would go about. So any advertisement, when it is being advertised, has to cater to the target consumers for the reason, obviously, because it wants sales. So you can name now if you start asking Gen X or the generation kids, you ask them to list whatever names. Like earlier, as kids, we used to play this game, wherein whatever gets into your mind, right? You have to write down the list of mm, um, like companies that gets into your mind. In 1 minute, you have to write 10 names, something like that. We used to play a game like that kind. So, like when you have this. If I ask a student like you, like then definitely uh, names that get across into your mind are the ones that you have seen the advertisements for, right? So that why obviously because it is more recent. So if I start asking you names, you will start thinking about morning. What did I use? Maybe paper, newspaper, maybe Indian, obviously. But right from the mobile that you use, it would be Samsung or iPhone, or then you come up with the paste, Colgate paste, or Close Up, or whatever. And then soaps would be Dove or whatever. So like you come up with the names of these soaps that are all and sodas. Obviously, you have Thumbs Up, Pepsi, Coke bought our Thumbs Up, and so it becomes part of Thumbs Up. Coke International, and then you have Pepsi, you have Fanta. So hardly you find fruity, which is an Indian thing. So that people who can say these Indian names or Indian products would be very, maybe if you have about 10 names to be listed, 8 would be mostly international brands. So when the global, so the definition obviously would be more or less similar. So it would be non-personal presentation, anytime advertisement, but at a global scale or at a global level. So you have two policies, two aspects that are followed if it is global advertising. Either because the product is global, either you go for adaptation, localization, or you go for the same concept. Again, it is based on the kind of product used. I gave these examples in the initial class itself when I was talking about how advertising works, right? If a company like Coke, what is Coke? As I've said, it is a product that aims for maximum reach. So when you have an advertisement for Coke, so it would be made in a way that it would touch the sentiments or the feelings or the emotions of the local crowd. That is what is important. So it could be like a neighbor, friendly neighbor sharing Coke, or it could be a family gathering with Coke over the Coke. So something like that. So to bond with the local people, that is very important. So there is definitely a local adaptation that is the base of any advertisement globally. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So, but at the same time, when you are going for the creative heads have to be very careful, because see there was this advertisement in for surf, when surf was used initially, like in the beginning when the product was becoming slowly global. So surf was introduced in Arabian countries. So the general way of showing how do you show the advertisement? You show a very soiled cloth, very dirty cloth. You show that cloth first, then you dip into water with surf. You show that the container, like you are adding in the water, surf is added. And then in the third step, you show that this soiled cloth is dipped into the surf water, and the final product is dazzling whiteness. But how do they do it in countries in Middle East? They don't read from left to right, they read from right to left. So when surf was introduced, they went globally, but for the Middle Eastern countries, where they go for right to left, most of the other countries, more or less all the other countries, follow from left to right concept. So when they showed that this soil cloth, that there's a white very cloth, and then when it is dipped into surf waters, it becomes very soiled. The way the people accepted there was totally shocking. There were no sales, absolutely no sales for surf. For the reason, obviously, because it was conveying a message which was something so very shocking to the local people. So when you make an advertisement, you have to understand, because even the words that are used in the advertisements, right? For example, in Punjabi, munda means boy. But the same word, if it is used in Telugu, it is a bad word. So you need to be careful. Translations are very important. They need to be keenly observed. Translations have to be observed, and even the presentation needs to be observed. How women are shown, because the Middle Eastern countries, depiction of women is very important. Like the way they are shown, or how they are presented. Otherwise, the ad would not be aired. So, minimal use of women. So there are certain guidelines, there are certain cultural things, there are certain regional things, there are certain language things. All these have to be understood, researched before one goes in for. So even if you're going for localization, right, you need to be careful, because the way you sometimes the same message, if it is put in Europe, in any of the countries in Europe or in US, might be accepted, but the same thing might not be accepted in such a way in Asian countries, maybe, or in the Middle Eastern countries, because obviously the Western countries are supposedly more liberal in accepting certain things, in relation to most of the Asian countries, or the Middle Eastern countries, right? So global advertising is a growing phenomenon. It has been growing by volumes and bounds, but definitely when you have to come up with a concept, right? You need to be super careful to be when you are presenting a thought, when you are presenting an understanding. Is this clear, Usha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then quickly, because today is our last class, I would like to wind up everything, so that, like, at least like we have covered more or less, more or the all the concepts, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So next, coming to advertising agency. What is an advertising agency? Like, definitely, when you're talking about advertising agency, it is a combination of creative people, business people who specialize in developing and preparing, coming up with marketing plan, advertising, and definitely a promotional mix and all these things. So that is what an advertising agency is. So when you look at advertising agencies, the advertising agencies are of different types. You have something like a full service agency, you have like a media agency, you have a creative agency. So you have different agencies that have evolved based on the way the consumers uh, uh, perceptions are changing. See, now, even as I've told in the last class, see, earlier it was production era, then sales era, then came consumer era, then came something like societal marketing era. Now we are living in an integrated marketing communication zone. So based on the way the consumers are evolving, based on the way the communication technologies are evolving, we find that to meet their needs and demands, there are a lot of evolutions that have come up with even uh, with the uh, with the advertising agencies. And so when I say a full service advertising agency, what is an advertising agency? Obviously, an agency is something that looks into marketing, advertising, promotional goals of a company. That's what advertising agency does. It may be catering to one agency, may be catering to hundreds and hundreds of clients. Okay, so a typical full service advertising agency includes planning, research, servicing, and then production, promotion, execution, public relations, and then accounting, media planning, everything. It is a combination of all these aspects. A typical full service advertising agency is, right? And when you're talking about advertising agencies, like in India, you have so many, like running into, you have very local agencies, you have regional, like at the city level, Metro, Hyderabad is also full, but Bombay is known for, like, it is like, in the New York, it is Madison Street that is known for, like, all the big advertising agencies are at the Madison Street. Okay, so in the similar way, here in Bombay, you have all the major advertising agencies are located at Bombay. Okay, the top advertising agencies include, you have Ogilvy and Mather, Rediffusion, Lowell Inters, then you have what else? Mudra agency is there, which was local, but which has been taken up by DDB, I think. And then you have BBDO, you have McCann Erickson, India. So all these agencies have Indian shops. Okay, all these of them have Indian shops for the reason, obviously, because the market is huge. And now, when you talk about advertising agency, obviously, uh, like, why there are so many advertising agencies? Obviously, the market is huge. The market is growing, and India is no less to China. Like, why are people? US is so particular about having relations with India and China. Not that otherwise, like they have some obligation. No, it is because the corporates there, the companies there, the MNCs there are, working hard on the government, US government there, to have cordial relationships, because any change in the dynamics of relationships with India, they'll be losing markets in crores in dollars. That is the reason why India is one of the most favored nations. Definitely, apart from China, even China is a big market for them. Google, every company, you find that all these companies have big presence in countries like China and India. Why? Because of population. Japan may be there, France, Germany. These are all small, tiny states compared to India. Even our big states um, even Rajasthan is much, much more bigger than a country like Spain, a country like France, a country like Italy. So their population is just so negligible. So here the consumptions are high. So definitely for this reason, obviously India is a very much demanding market. Okay, so you have all the big international advertising agencies having their presence in Indian markets and trying to get as many companies as possible. So you have on one hand international agencies, on the other hand you have international products. So all these international products need advertisements, and who does these advertisements? The advertising agencies. So it is like, and if you look into advertising agency, as I've said, a full service means one that provides everything. It gives you planning, it gives research, it does servicing, it does creative aspect. It does media planning and all kinds of planning. It does production, that is the final making of the final end product. It also does public relations, everything. You name a thing, everything is offered by this full service agencies. Most of the advertising agencies that we are speaking are all full service agencies. But why do we need creative agencies? There came a point of time that when the companies felt that they can go about with all this planning research they have, because either way they have marketing research. So when there is marketing research that is being done, why have a separate advertising research? Why to waste money in terms of again giving them advertising research? Instead, in the marketing research itself, they can have a separate subunit of advertising research. So that's the reason why companies came up with alternatives, and therefore they just wanted the creative inputs. And so came the creative agencies. So these creative agencies, they do not offer any other service. They provide only the creative aspect, creative team that does advertising campaign in terms of they provide planning, promotion, like placement of advertisement, all these things. What all connected with the advertisements, they do it. Okay. Some similarly on the same platform, you have something like media buying agency. So if you have to place an advertisement next year, buying of media space starts at least a year before, because you can't say that I have come up with an advertisement now and I want to buy space now. No, everything is booked in advance. Like, for example, you are performing an event, any cultural event of a college or anything, you book a hall, something like a function hall for a wedding or a birthday party or some other any kind of party. You do that in advance. Similarly, even media buying space is done well, very pretty much well in advance. So you have different agencies that also look into like who are middle people who do buying space in media, and they provide you have this incentives. So like they provide these incentives, and like they act as obviously a bridge between, if you take that as a triangle, the media buying agency acts as a middle person between the company and the advertising agency, and they can also approach this media buying agency towards buying a slot. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then coming to in-house agency. Big companies, right? Something like Hindustan Lever, Airtel, L&T, all these big companies, what they do is they feel like their company is so big and huge, and every maybe 15 days once, or every once in a month, they're coming up with a new product. So why go for an outside agency? Instead, they can have an in-house agency. So these companies, big companies, they have in-house agency. Even the Star, like Star, the channel, Star Plus, Star World, the Star company, you have Star channel. So that channel also has an in-house agency. What they do, it's in-house agency also can be full service. In-house agency can also be just creative content, creative department alone, because you have these independent media buying agencies, digital branding agencies, all these are all there. So what they can do is they can approach these agencies to buy space in media. But in terms of why they feel that in-house agency is important, because they feel they know their product best. So instead of approaching a person who is a stranger, they can as well have an in-house agency which can come up with ads that can truly reflect the soul of the company. So that's how you have the in-house agencies that are there. If you remember the Airtel ad, right? Recently, not recently, about 3 years back, one girl to show that there is connectivity everywhere in terms of speed also. Airtel was known for its speed. Like they were showing, if you were downloading, the girl would be going about with her friends to different locates, corners, like nice, beautiful locations. Their friends would be trying hard to download a movie or a song, but this girl will just in no time download that a song or a movie. So that ad of Airtel is an outcome of the is a product of the in-house agency of the Airtel.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have, and that girl became so famous. So actually, she was one of the interns of the in-house agency.
In-house agency.
Yeah. So you are aware of that ad?
Yes, ma'am. She's the
Yeah.
only means like she has made the ads of almost 10 Airtel ads, only
Yeah.
focused on her, and she has come up with different themes.
Yeah. Like the themes have been, she has been part of
Creativity.
different things. Yes. Yes. Correct. So that is, so when you have, that's what is an advertising campaign. So a series of ads lined up with different themes, but the concept being the same.
Yes.
Yes, that is what is an advertising campaign. You make a series of ads, right? Have you understood what a campaign is now?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
That's what an advertising campaign is, right? So that's the way it works. So when you have these in-house agencies, like they feel that they can come up with excellent, even Star, like that, uh, not IPL, World Cup matches, right? Pakistan versus India, they came up with Mauka, not Mauka. What was the ad? I don't remember the ad now. Cricket ads, right? Star was coming up with the it had the rights of airing the World Cup, right? So every time the World Cup cricket match happens between two teams, so they come up with
Like
challenge
Coke
Mauka, I think.
sponsored, Coke,
Mocha,
Mountain Dew, and Mocha.
not
Mocha.
Mountain Dew. No, 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 not those. It was made by Star in-house agency, talking about how Pakistan asking saying that before every match they would come up with like you people have lost and we have won, something like that. I don't exactly remember, but I remember the word Mauka. That was the word that it was going about. I just, you can Google that and you can find it. Star ads on Cricket World Cup, like excellent and beautiful ads. It was done in fun. It was not done in something like a negative or a hatred. So whenever there was a match between India and Pakistan, like I won, you won, something like that. I just don't remember the words, exact words, but the central word was Mauka. So that was the way how Star came up with their own ads. So in-house ads are something that are there. In-house advertising are there. So the in-house advertising agencies, what they do is they come up with the ads. So, as I have said, in-house advertising agencies could be full service agencies, or they could be just the creative agencies, or the creative agencies, and they may these are specialized agencies, right? And they may go approach a media buying agency or a digital branding agency, and then ask them to go about placing the ad in a proper way. So that's how the agencies function. But many a times, what happens is, like we look at the ads, we love the ads, right? You know who made Bahubali? Everyone knows it is Rajmouli. We know
Rajmouli.
who made RRR. We know that it is Rajmouli. So we know many times that an advertisement when made, we never know who the creative director is. Unfortunately, that is a big problem with the advertisement. We don't even search. We appreciate the ad. Like we all like the ads. You know Raju Hirani? Raju Hirani is like he all the Fevicol ads. Bandhan jutta hai, todta nahi, something like that, which is the
Hmm.
tagline on which
Tagline
it
of it.
works. Yeah. And if you look, Raju Hirani is from Rajasthan. He has that like Rajasthan background, and most often his ads would revolve around the moving tribes of Rajasthan, or uh, uh, like a carpenter doing that, and how jota hai, and egg falling. Like a child will be running away when the mother is working. So what the mother does is finally tie the child to the Fevicol, big Fevicol dabba, and the child will not move. Why the child will not move? Because Fevicol jorta hai. So you find that all these ads, like, we appreciate the ads, but not like, eh, we never, it never comes to the minds of a common person who is watching the ad, like, who is behind it. An ad is like a film, more or less like a film. Of course, the length,
The
the dynamics, the monies that are involved in making the film are different, I agree, but an ad is no less. So the way the ads are made, many people from advertising agencies have come to the filmmaking. Like you find that the famous ad of Cadbury's. Have you seen that? Initially, it was a girl, like the batsman, right? He will hit, the boyfriend hits. He will be a batsman. He'll hit a sixer, and the girl will dancingly coming to the playground. That was a super hit with Cadbury's ad. It actually took the Cadbury's into the teenagers, because till that time Cadbury's was like, chocolates are mostly for kids, not for adults or oldies. But that ad revolutionized the way thinking for chocolates. No, why anyone can eat it. Any celebration can be done with a chocolate.
yes,
So beautifully, like you think of ads, like, ads are so beautiful. They are so well made. But like, because it is owned by the agency, even the agency's name doesn't come out, because not many of us are familiar even with the names of the agencies also. So all these people, Sham Benigal, Satyajit Ray, Rajiv Rao, okay, R. Balakrishnan, like, you have Balki. He also made this, that Amir Khan friends, Rang de Basanti, Chini Kam. All these movies like Gauri Shinde, Ki and Ka. You know that movie,
yes,
Ki and Ka?
yes, ma'am.
That was made by Gauri Shinde, like, English. Like, these people are all, they are from advertising background. Nitesh Tiwari, okay. All these people, they are all like, you have a lot. Even Piku, if you remember that Piku movie, Deepika Padukone and Amitabh Bachchan.
Yes, ma'am.
So they have been quite successful as film directors as well. But they were initially advertising creative directors who made a huge, like, beautiful, excellent ads. Um, uh, and actually, many a times, the names are like, if you get into it, like, it's a detailed class by itself. Okay, I don't want to get into it. We'll be falling short of time. But see, the way the ads are made, it is so innovative, so creative, so beautiful. So when you're talking about the full service agencies, you have account management, which looks into accounts. As I've said, when you're talking about accounts, the account management groups acts as a bridge between the client and the advertising agency. They see to it that the client's needs and requirements are honored, satisfied. So the accounts, accounts management department looks into all these things, and even it's a big department. Based on the size of the full service agency, the accounts departments may be having a diverse groups within it. Because if you are a big agency, obviously, there are lots, you have local branches, so everything is taken care. Finally, the final output will be shown to the client through the account department. Okay, the coordination between the various department, the creative department, the production department, the media planning department, everything is the coordination between the creative director may be thinking something, but the visualizer would be thinking something. Creative director comes up with some creative inputs, but what these creative inputs are, these creative inputs are to be translated,
Translate.
visualized by the visualizer. And then it has to come out on a layout, a rough, a comprehensive, right? So everything has to translate. So this coordination, so there has to be a proper coordination, and everything, all these the coordination aspects, the production, how the production goes, right? Everything uh, is looked into uh, by the accounts department. So when you are selecting an advertising agency, a lot of factors are taken into consideration, like the agency's history, how strong the agency has been, and who forms the, like you have, there is something like heart and soul for advertising agency, right? While heart and brain. Okay, brain is the research department, whereas the heart is the heart and soul is the creative department. So if there are many cases, many a times, once the creative department, along with the creative director, moved from one agency to another agency, right? The client also moved along with them, because you have a rapport with them. So when you have a rapport, you wouldn't want a new person, because the creative department already knows what the client wants, and therefore maybe the new creative department may be doing a great job, but since you have that comfort zone, or since you have that trust, and you have that faith on that particular creative department in that particular agency, if that creative department moves. See, generally, they work in a team, right? The creative director will have his own or her own set of people who work with them. So, if that creative department moves, then definitely the entire team moves. So, the client also goes along with them, generally. So that's the way it works. So a lot of, obviously, when an advertising agency is selected, they look into the history, their performance, their old how their ads have been working, and how they are how financially viable they are, like the kind of budgeting how they would be doing, right? And their creative strength and quality, like you need to look into all these things when an advertising agency is selected. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. But ma'am, films, ad films will not earn money, right, ma'am?
Why should they earn money? Because see, there is a difference between a regular film and an ad film, no?
Film itself product, so it is earning. So ad film is an
No, wait. See, the money, there is a okay, I'll tell you how the regular film and the ad film differs. The ad film is made by a sponsor, a company. Ad film is not made by on its own. You getting the point?
yes.
Horlicks ad, Coca-Cola ad is made by Coca-Cola company. The profits are in terms of sales of Coca-Cola, not the sales of film. Is this clear?
That's where the ad creative director is not getting the name.
He will not get the name, or she will not get the name, because
It is about
it
the
is,
product, no, ma'am? It is about the
yes,
product in the company. So
yes.
that's why.
This is
In
the
the
reason, because see, the creative directors or the agencies may be there, but the focus is not on the agencies or the creative directors. The focus, see, there the company is not making to make the creative director popular. The company is paying the creative director
make
to
company
see to
popular.
it that the brand is popular, not the
Popular.
creative director or the agency.
Yes.
Okay, why will the company pay to the creative director to make the creative director popular? No. If you have interest, then you will look. If you don't have, for the company, the main point is to make the product sell. That's it. How lousy the ad is, no one cares. How stupid the ad is, no one cares. How illogical, like I gave you the example of axe.
There is no logic in that.
Absolutely zero. Still, it worked wonders. So, what does the company want? The stupidity of the creative director or the saleability of the product? Definitely the
Scalability.
saleability of the product.
Yes, ma'am.
Here, it is not the director, it is important. I'm saying it because, see, many of us don't even bother to look, is what I'm saying. We appreciate the ad, but we do, at the end of the day, at least we don't even think, is what I'm saying. That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think nothing works but for the selling of the product. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, coming to the final topic, I think this is the last. Is this the last topic, or do we
Yes,
have one
ma'am.
more?
We have two more topics and last block.
Last block. What else do we have? Okay, okay. Okay, so now you have like I can like there is not much to be explained in this because it is something that you read. It is not like okay, big thing. Okay, so obviously for any product, why do we have Advertising Agencies Association of India? We have something like Advertising Agencies Association of India, which regulates how the ads are. See, by default, what is written is consumer is king. Whether the consumer is king, okay, many jokes may go around, many memes may go around, but the final thing is consumer is king is what the main principle should be the principle of all the companies. Okay, you should cater to the needs of the consumer. So you have Consumer Protection Act that has come into existence, and even Mahatma Gandhi and people like Gandhi also has emphasized and has been very vocal about why the owners have to have to see to it that the consumers they should only build the trust. They are the people who should be able to create the trust and belief among the consumers. That's what Mahatma Gandhi has been emphasizing for long. Okay, so you do have many ads that came into place, but definitely Indian advertising works on the principle of self regulation. But you do have something like Cable Regulation Act, which also has certain guidelines. The Cable Regulation and the act that has been proposed in 1994, I think. It says that there are certain guidelines. You cannot show women in obscene manner. You cannot give wrong misinformation, and you cannot show a president, prime minister, and big like the highest dignitaries of the country in a bad light. You cannot show neighboring countries in a bad light. So there are certain guidelines on which the advertisements have to be framed. Okay, the concept has to be framed. It is not as though that like you like no action will be taken. But to a great extent, most of the companies, most of the advertising agencies see to it that they follow these guidelines because it is by default passed on and clearly said you cannot insult our national flag nor national emblem, all these things. So you have this Drug Control Act, Magic Remedies and Drug Control Act. Are you aware of this act?
Drug control act, ma'am. Yeah, yes, it has come up, but act number I don't know, ma'am.
It doesn't matter. Year and all that, you can do it like that. But once you know the content, like you cannot cheat consumers saying that
It's a
actually.
substance. It's a substance which is used and all teenagers are getting into.
No. Not that way. Not drugs. Not that drugs I'm saying. Drug mean any medicine is a drug. If you any medicine is a drug, like you go to drug store is what we say, medical thing, drugs, but each drug has a different combination and a chemical composition, right? So
Yes, yes.
by default, if we have understood that drugs means only those are drugs and not Yeah, any medicine is a drug. So the Drug and Magical Remedies Act is something like like if you cannot promise saying that um, this miracle will happen, like you are very lean, you consume this magical portion and you become very strong superhuman types and all, and you have so many ads like you wear this yantra tantra mantra and all that, you do have all those ads, right? So
Yes.
where they show that you wear this thing and you became kubera, you become a millionaire. No one knows whether you become, but they will definitely become millionaires. That's how the people are falling into traps. Definitely you are not supposed to air those ads, but they come with the tag sponsored, but many of them don't distinguish between sponsored ads and the regular ads. Okay, those are sponsored ads. That means like the company is doing it evidently as it bought the time slot, and it is trying to say that this is the entire responsibility is for the company. Okay, so that's how the sponsored ad comes up. You have even this like you there are ads that shows like some knee pain, knee joint, and you can do, like, you take this wonder drug and I'm able to run, walk, jog and all that. So that is something that is magical. Okay, so there is this Drugs and Magical Remedies Act that says that you cannot come up with false information and fool people. Okay, under that act you can be punishable. So that's how it is. Okay, so you have Essential Commodities Act, you have Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. So all these acts are there to protect the consumers. Okay, the consumers have rights. You have right to be heard, you have right to be chosen, you have right to be known, like your information. You have right to have access to entire information. Okay, you have right to education, you have right, even this fairness ads, right? Many of them, they cheat people. Like you have this, they say the Fair and Lovely ads, or like that Fair Glow ads, they say that we put kesar. Actually, the kesar, a tiny portion of kesar itself runs into hundreds. It is so very expensive. And you get a tube with a kesar for 50 rupees or 10 rupees. How is that possible? So that's a misleading advertisement. So the consumer has every right to challenge that ad in the consumer court. So there you have special consumer courts where you people go and approach those courts, and I think you would have heard stories where people are compensated. There was this case in Kerala, interesting case, where obviously, like above Vindhyas, at least people are a bit fair, but below Vindhyas, like South India, it's like based on the environment, Tropic of Cancer, below that, you find that definitely people are darker skin. Like brown is our color. If you are fair, it is something different. But our climatic conditions, we are brown, like light brown to dark brown complexion is because of the climate and the environment here. So that a person from Kerala used this Fair and Handsome cream, saying that it showed that if you use this Fair and Handsome, and within 3 weeks or 6 weeks time, you become super fair, and girls will fall to you. So he used that cream. He went to consumer court, and the company had to pay him money because the false were the it was misleading. So you have these, but definitely they keep coming, they keep changing words, they keep fooling people. That happens regularly, but doesn't mean that they don't stop from doing it. So but even there is a responsibility on the part of the consumers as well, right? You also have to be careful. The consumer needs to know what they are buying, like whether the product that they are buying are from have been authorized by some authorized companies. So if you're not buying from like ISI is the mark. When you say you're buying from a product with an ISI mark, that means it is certified by the government of India.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so if you are like if we also need to see to it that that the products like Agmark, you have something for oils, I think there is something like Agmark, and all these things, like you have these
Gold, gold.
this,
We have
for
on
gold,
gold.
yeah, for gold also you have KDM, something like that. So on the part of the buyer also, you need, the buyer has to be watchful and careful, and uh, and the buyer also, if feels if cheated, has access to consumer courts, can approach advertising agencies association and get and demand for compensation. It is not just compensation, demand for compensation, but they can also go for redressal.
Yes.
Okay, so they can ask for the redressal and all that. So there is uh, the companies can say that no, we have put it in the right way, maybe the person has not understood in the right way. So this is the way how you have laws are in place. Not that many times we have less information, or we don't look into information and blame government, saying that like the government is not taking correct measures, or we don't even try, we don't even fight for our rights. So there are many times like there is awareness that is being created, but still we don't want to look into what is factual. So if you find that make my trip, in the make my trip, maybe you would go there, and maybe your like your flight is cancelled, or your train tickets are cancelled. Like what kind of compensation are there? People don't have the patience to look into the inner details, read between the lines. Okay, reading between the lines is a bit tough, but inner details are something that we look into, we have to look into. So most often people don't look into all those things, and that's where the problem is. Okay, this is something more generic, I think you can read through it.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not so tough. Okay, then you have this trade and professional organizations. You have something like Indian Newspaper Society, the Advertising Agencies of India, international advertising agencies. And an agency has to be registered. Only then will that agency be recognized. Okay, if the agency is not registered, then you cannot uh, uh, like you cannot approach them for any kind of like they cannot be taken to task. So you have this Ministry of I think Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, with which the advertising agencies have to register. Okay, of India
RNA.
have to, huh?
RNA.
Register of Newspaper Association. No. Ministry of yeah, Corporate Affairs. So you have this you need to register with them. Okay, and then you have this to look into the ratings, to look into how the agency is performing. You have this Audit Bureau of Circulation. You have that is for mostly for newspapers and magazines. And then you have Indian Broadcasting Foundation, which looks into the guidelines. So that's why whenever there is a problem issue, there is always a scroll that comes up at the end of the not mostly with advertisement, but with television content, either with the news channels or commercial channels. You find that at the end there is a scroll. Like if there is any issue with the content, you can always file a complaint with the Indian Broadcasting Association or Indian Broadcasting Foundation. So you find that these agencies are there in place that to promote and safeguard the interest, not just of the interest of the members, but also of the readers at large. Okay, you find obviously the Indian Newspaper Service, INS, it is a body of representing from the which has representations mostly from the newspaper agencies, or if you talk about even advertising agencies of Association of India, you have all the big you have something like big, medium, and small. Okay, so the big media agencies having a bigger say in the advertising agencies, AAA of India. Okay, so they work in coordination with the government sometimes. So they also make ads for the governments. So even these private companies also made ads with the make ads for the government, the polio ad or something like that. If the government approaches them, definitely they also come up with the ads for the government. So you have ABC, Audit Bureau of Circulation, which looks into all the figures. How correct, if a newspaper claims that my number is such big, or if Times of India says that I am the leading newspaper, English newspaper in the country, how do you say that? How do you verify it? So there is this Audit Bureau of Circulation which gets into the figures, checks facts, verifies the figures, and accordingly comes up with the actual numbers. So you have all these agencies that are in place to always regulate, to always check, and have some eye on how the newspaper content is, or how the advertising content is, and accordingly, if there is a need, an action will be taken. Okay, so uh, most often the professional and the trade organization, as the name indicates, are mostly meant to safeguard the interests. Definitely, when the consumer interests are safeguarded, at the same time, we also expect that a professional body cannot work without support from the government. So that's the reason why whenever you see, like if you are part of media or you are part of the press, the government comes up with incentives. They provide them with lands. They provide them with certain pension, some medical benefits, health benefits. So uh, definitely government also tries to protect the way the media, like any other professional trade organization, even government provides supports to these professional and media professional and trade organizations as well, though we don't have unions now anymore, because most often now, like, it is underlying hidden clause with most of the media organizations that they cannot be part of any union, or they cannot form unions. Okay, so obviously the big companies have a higher hand over the working professionals and employees, but still the government also plays a big role in taking care of the interests of these professionals.
Professionals.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, I think we covered more or less the entire thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Though we did this because, yeah, these things I think you can just read. So it is just regular information, like what functions of Ascii, Advertising Standards Council of India. What it does is, when a complaint is filed, like first the complaint goes to the small group, and then from there it is sent to the governing body, and how it works. um, and if there is if the company also, the agency also can fight a case there, saying that like what we have presented is not misleading, so they can always justify. And if the company is right, definitely no action will be taken. But if the agency is coming up with misleading facts, then it has to pay to the consumer, or the court,
Advertising.
or the court sometimes also, for misleading people. Okay.
But in every ad, they'll be specially specific means that they'll be specifying in a small shorter like LSE policy. They'll write
Yeah.
all the points in the means visible, and one
Yeah.
small conditions
In a
and
very
terms and
small
applies in
font,
a
which is
star
highly invisible.
highlight, highly
Yes, yes.
invisible. So this they
Yeah,
have
correct.
come up after facing few problems. They have come up with this kind of thing. We have mentioned it. It's your job to observe
To look
every
into
part
it.
of it.
Yes, yes, that is so true. They always they come up with a disclaimer saying that these are all like prone to market risks, or based on the market changes, these tend to change. So every day, everything will have a disclaimer and all those. Yeah, even like how cigarette smoking is injurious to
Injurious
life.
to health. Then
So
again,
you have
people.
a, still people go for it, right? Though it is written in a very bold font, still people go for that.
Even they even post the pictures also what may
Correct.
happen. So
True. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is there. So it happens. Even the Coke, I think even they come with something. They say that if you drink Coke, like Coke is a toilet cleaner, is like that is the acidic power of the Coke. But people will still, everyone knows it. Not that people are not unaware. They are aware, but
ma'am,
still people drink.
ma'am, which agency does our government of India for means like which advertising agency works for
No,
the
actually,
government?
government has its own wing. No, you have this um, 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 government has this song and drama division wing.
In All
Apart
India
from,
Radio?
no, 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 not All India Radio. They have their own wings like advertising, DAVP, Directorate of Audio Visual Publicity. Yeah, DAVP is a wing that is into making ads for government.
I was
Um,
thinking that it was All
I
India
didn't
Radio because it
understand.
is like the first initial advertising agency which
No,
has been
no,
started.
no, 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 no,
No,
no.
I was in
All
impression
India.
government ads is there in there.
One second. What did you say just now? I didn't get you.
It was the first means like reaching to the people. All India Radio means like through radio is the first advertising after the newspapers, right? So I thought advertising agencies like All India Radio must be the government agency to do.
No, 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 no. All India Radio is not an agency to start with. It is it is a governmental government organization to broadcast programs that includes news and entertainment. It is not an All India Radio gets advertisements from uh,
DAVP.
companies. Same, they have to buy the slot in the All India Radio airwave time, airspace time. They need to buy. All India Radio doesn't make ads. No, it doesn't make ads. People buy space, airtime, and people broadcast ads on the All India Radio.
Yes, ma'am.
Newspapers also, they don't make ads by themselves. They only publish ads given by advertising agencies to them. So, the making of advertisements is done by a professional body. It is a different body by itself. So, you have, as I have listed, you have Ogilvy and Mather. This has been there even before independence. Because at the time of Britishers itself, you had something like government notifications where they were selling goods that were brought from Britain, second-hand prices. So there were notifications. There were information about government posts. So, like the ships, merchants carrying goods and selling. So, such kind of notifications were put in the newspapers, and it was not done by the government. It was done by some specialized person. It was given as a contract to an outside person.
Yes, ma'am.
All India Radio, Doordarshan, these are all
No,
government agencies to broadcast news and
news and
entertainment programs. They are not advertising agencies. No. Is this clear?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Actually, the impression was that AI and All India Radio and Doordarshan, in which what we can do. And another one, PIB, there is a full form of
Press
PIB.
Information Bureau,
Press
that comes up
information
with news.
news
No.
again. Yeah.
Ah,
So
they are,
so I was like, which one can be the which can be the eye and ear means like of the government who can send it to the means like to the public.
see, Directorate of Audiovisual Publicity, DAVP, is a wing of the government. Like the government has many wings as part of the, now you have cultural ministry as well, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
as part of this, they have of but information ministry is a different department, right? You have telecommunications minister, you have cultural minister, you have different departments, different ministries. So under the cultural ministry, you have this, you have different units. You have song and drama division. Okay, you have DAVP, Directorate of Audiovisual Publicity. So you have different wings. You have PIB also, right? These are different departments catering to the different needs of the government.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Press Information Bureau comes up with, like, it is like the mouthpiece of the government, which comes up with the news that the government shares. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am,
Yeah. Anything to be talked? Anything to be
like
discussed?
one objective, ma'am, like it has given in the last like client service management is looked after in an ad agency by which department? Accounting department, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, and uh,
Yeah,
ma'am,
Usha, I can't hear you.
what you what is the means like process which is uses an audit process to verify the circulation claims of its members publications?
You have an audit bureau of circulation, no?
uh, Audit bureau, sir. ABC uses an
Ah.
audit process. Yes, just we have done. I just wanted to, is it ASIC or means like they we have to means like
ASCI, Advertising
ASCI?
Standards. ASCI is Advertising Standards Council of India, which looks into maintaining the standards of the advertisements, like not going for obscene ads, not going for misleading ads, not going for ads with double meanings, or not showing women
Appropriate manner.
in an
Manner.
inappropriate and
Inappropriate.
also in a stereotypical manner, showing that women are confined to the houses, women, like very conventional manner. Now you know that there is a huge change, as I've told about Titan ad or these ads, not Titan, Tanishq ads, where there is a huge transformation. But also, like there are at the same time you need to follow the guidelines.
Yes, ma'am. And we have a question to encounter, ma'am. Like how can one can decide which products can be advertised on the Facebook and why? How one can decide?
There is no control over the Facebook ads, unfortunately. Most often, the problem with the Facebook advertising is online medium, like again, it comes under the Cable and Regulations Act of India, though it, like, since it is OTT platform, like it's digital medium, the digital media content, still guidelines are further reformed. Like there is a lot of effort because you do have this IT Act, right? That comes up with guidelines as to how you should go about with the advertisements on the digital platforms. Still, a lot needs to, because technology is so fastly changing. Like there has to be still lot has to go in before Like still it is evolving process. And the advertisers are coming up with many things. Most often they confine to the guidelines. Generally they confine to the guidelines because it would be blacklisted. Otherwise, see, many sites like even on the YouTube um, or whatever, or other social media platforms, even on the Facebook pages or Insta pages, if they find that the content is obscene or derogatory or not suiting the Indian, obviously the local standards, then those sites are either blocked or they would be not be given permission. But most often these blocks comes up with the, as I've said, the technology enables them to come up with different HTML address and then different forms that even though the government is trying hard to control them, still they are coming up with various formats. Okay, so still a lot long way to go.
What is the function of account service executive, ma'am? Because we understood what is media buying agency, because they have to buy the slot before. The other
Yeah,
one
account
is,
service, like same, like the account service. What do you mean by an account? What is
uh,
an account to start with? See,
by the,
wait. No, wait. Account is like if uh, Close Up is a product. Close Up is approaching Ogilvy and Mather to make an advertisement for Close Up. Is this clear?
yes, ma'am.
Close-Up is a product. Close-Up has approached Ogilvy and Mather, an advertising agency, to make an advertisement. So Close-Up is an account for Ogilvy and Mather. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So Close-Up is an account for the Ogilvy and Mather advertising agency. In the Ogilvy and Mather advertising agency, you have accounts department, the main accounts department. The accounts department, again, there is a the since it is a very big agency, you have lot of sub accounts catering to looking into. Okay, fine, let's keep it as accounts department. So the accounts department, you have a lot of creative departments because since it is a big department, you have more than 20 to 30 creative departments. So the accounts departments allots Close-Up account to one of the creative departments. So the accounts department coordinates between the Close-Up company and the creative department and sees to it that there is a proper communication flow between what the account or the client wants, and it is properly conveyed to the creative department. The creative department, whatever the creative department and understands and how it delivers, it will be communicated to agents, the accounts department. So account department with the creative department gets back to the client and it educates and it communicates to the clients as to how the final outcome has come. So account service it is the accounts department trying to provide the services to the client, be it creative service, be it media service, be it research service, be it production service, be it planning service, you name a service, whatever the service that the client wants, that service to be provided. So account service department is something that provides services to the client or to the account as per its requirement. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Is account service executive is also known as client service executive, ma'am?
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes.
See, as I've said, overlapping, Usha, based on the kind of agency that we are talking about, the names may differ.
Okay.
Some may use it as account service manager, some may use as client service manager. So you have different names as in different companies. No, you have different names for different
Different.
same profile. You have different names.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, ma'am, because we have almost covered every inch of the book. So
Okay, fine. At least I'm glad. Yeah, good. Uh-huh.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anything that you need to, like, if there is any small things, because once you read, Usha, I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
it should be good. If you have any doubts, feel free to message me so that first, if I'm free, I can get back to you.
Sure,
Or
ma'am.
if I'm not free, I can always say that okay, this time we can talk. So just give me a heads up so that it becomes easier.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome. Good.
Have a good day, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, same to you and all the best, Usha.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.